Hey, Decide Destiny crew, Kyle Spreedy's here. Thanks for joining me for another Decide Destiny Daily Dose. Decide to ask and not assume. Why? Why should I do that, Kyle? Why should I ask if I can see someone's just not doing the right thing? If I know someone's not doing the right thing, if I've got enough information and I can just bark at someone and yell orders and deflect something at someone, or attack someone verbally or abuse someone verbally. Why? Why do I need to ask? Because you don't have all the information. When you assume you don't have all the information. And let's put our hands up, everyone who has assumed they know what's going on in a situation, or they know what someone's thinking, or they know what someone's feeling, or they know someone's background history, and they don't. Let's put our hands up. I'll put my hands up. I'll be the first to put my hand up and say, there's been many times where assuming has led me down the wrong path, where assuming has made me more divided with my fellow human, has made me at disconnect with my fellow human, has made me not understand, not be empathetic, not be emotionally intelligent enough, not use and tap into those resources that I have deep within my heart, deep within my soul, that allow me to connect to human beings, that allow me to connect to one another. And I can say that it's not serving you, it's not serving us, it's not serving humanity to just assume, to see someone, believe they're doing something wrong, and go attack like a dog, like an attack dog. That's not the way it is. That's not the way that we need to be. We need more empathy. We need more understanding. We need to ask questions, be inquisitive. You know how people get what they want in life? Generally, it's through asking questions. Generally, it's through investigating. Generally, it's through asking, and especially if you look at business, it's through asking questions in business. The person who does the least amount of talking, or who talks at the very end, has the most amount of information and has the best strategy to go from. If you look at negotiating, look at different sort of scenarios, if you look at different sort of, from watch a famous movie or whatever you like to do, but if you, get some coaching, or if you understand, you can see that questions are so integral to having something flow and actually creating something. When you look at an artwork, when you look at a piece, when you look at an idea, you got to ask questions. When you look at, a project you want to pursue, you got to ask yourself multiple questions to see, will this last? Will it work out? Will I, at one point snag my leg and go, it was too hard. But if I ask all these questions at the start, really understand the why of what I'm doing, then I'll be able to do it. And it's the same thing with people. If we ask them and we try and work out, okay, why is this person doing this? Why is this person doing that? Are there other reasons? Because to be honest, if you're just seeing someone straight off the bat, or if you're hearing someone, your mind is going to perceive it how you've been programmed by society, by the TV box, by your family, your upbringing, your culture, even your actual where you were brought up in the world. So you actually need to understand that your program is going to create a certain perception of someone that may not be true, and that's really going to affect your connection with that person. It's going to affect your relationship. It's going to affect your ability to be actually a human being, a heart and soul human being. So really got to consider, are my perceptions correct? Or can I do more investigating? Can I ask more questions here? Can I do some more recon? Can I find out more information? Because generally, when you assume, you have a very small amount of information, and the information you do have, a lot of it has come from your own baggage, or your own and my own stuff, my own perceptions, my own previous experiences with the situation. And if I've always had a bad, say I grew up and I always had a bad experience with males, say father figures and different males in my life, then I might have a bad experience with, and say they were all around that 30, 40 age, I might always look at any person who's a male that I meet at that age in a bad light. Or someone from, and this is what happens usually with cultural differences. They might have had bad experiences with 2 or 3 people from this one culture, and now they perceive that culture as being something different that they're not. So it's really important that we don't assume, and we ask questions. We don't assume things about people, and we don't assume where their feelings are. We ask questions. And it's such a better way to exist as a human being, to ask rather than assume. It's such a better way, and I think it's a way that we were designed, to go out, search, find, seek, and actually get to the goal, get to the resources, get to the knowledge of that person. So guys, please, in this, it can be a highly hostile world, a highly polarizing world, and we can get a lot of people, who are peeping toms or who want to kind of, want to be given the staff so they can go and shout at people, or given the opportunity, or given a little bit of a leg up or a bit of a status, so they can go, now I've got an option. Now I can shout at people. Now I can, now I can get all this aggression that I've got off my chest. I can just bark at someone. We've got to understand that this is not the way that we need to be. And we need to understand that there's much more, and we're worth much more, and the people that we're communicating with are worth much more. So ask questions. The next time you go to assume, if you pull in front of someone and they don't wave thank you to you, what do you think? Instantly you think that guy's a bunch of swear words. That guy is just a terrible human, or I can't stand him. How dare he? But what if he didn't see you? What if he was thinking about something, or maybe he was looking at his partner, or maybe he was looking out the window? What if that person actually didn't see you, and they didn't see that you were actually, like saying, you're saying thanks, or you were communicating with them? What happens in that situation? You really need to consider that. There's many factors at play, so don't assume. Don't allow your brain to just go to assumptions and attack. We're worth so much more, and you're worth so much more. Anyway, guys, please share this around, because we do have this thing in our culture, unfortunately, at the moment, where we just assume and we attack without asking questions, and it's really causing a lot of people grief. It's really not connecting us. It's really dividing us and causing a disconnect, and we need to work it out all together. So please make sure when you go out there, you assume. You don't assume. You assume a higher ground for yourself, and a higher status for yourself, higher threshold for yourself, and you ask questions because you've got it in you. So make sure that you ask questions as you go out, and share this around with other people who maybe they assume a bit too much from too many people, and they can really learn to ask more questions. And as always, guys, give us a thumbs up if you like this. Leave a comment of someone that you assume something from, or a situation you assume something from. I heard a story recently of someone she's got dogs. She gives money to her dogs around the world, and she loves her dogs. And she was just nudging her dog down the road, because she plays with her dog. And someone was driving past and shouted at her and said, "I'm going to call the effing police. I'm going to attack. We're going to get you in prison. How dare you kick your dog? Blah blah." And then someone else on the other side of the road saw that it was going on, and then she communicated. The one lady that was in the car yelling communicated to the other lady, and then they both started yelling at this friend of mine, and she was just shocked, and she was like, she couldn't believe it. She's like, "I love my dogs. Like, how could you think that's what I was doing?" But that's the problem with the very small snippet of information, or the bulletin piece, or the short segment of information. I understand that's how our society has been going, and it's very punchy, and it's very what's going to get the most views, what's going to get the most attention, but it's really not serving us for our greater cause. We really need to be aware of how we can actually ask questions, or how we can investigate the situation a bit more, or just strike up a conversation. Pull the car over, strike up a conversation. Talk about the dogs. If you think the dog's being kicked, talk about the dogs. Rather do that than just assume. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoy that. And remember, as always, as you go out there in your life, decide your destiny. Cheers.